Well, hello everybody. Great to be with you. Can you see me? Okay. I can't see you. Can you see me? You can't see me. Can you hear me okay? And you can't see me. I can't see you either. There's something wrong with this camera. Will I see if I move around here? Will it be any help? Is that any help? Can you see me now? Oh, good. Great. But I can't see you. Where are you? I tell you what, if I move around the other side of the camera, will I be able to see you? Hold on. Right. No, I can't see you. Can you see me? Oh, here. Right. I can't see you. I can't get to see you at all. And isn't that the terrible thing about COVID? That I can't get to see you. I am missing you so much. BB's not meeting, GB's not meeting, Sunday school, children's church, even school assemblies. Can't get to see you at all. I'm missing you so much. Oh, I'm looking forward so much to seeing you again when all of this COVID is finished with. We'll have to have a big celebration then. We'll have a party, maybe a barbecue. What about a big mighty water fight whenever this is all over? You remind me about that. Some people you really love to see, especially if you're in some sort of trouble or need or something's broken. And the person who can sort it out, the person who is the expert, it's great to see them. A wee while ago, I had a bit of an accident. I dropped my iPad and I broke it. This is back a little while ago. And what was I going to do? Well, I didn't take it to any of my friends because I didn't trust them with it. I thought they'll only mess it up if they try to fix it. I didn't take it to the doctor because I didn't trust him either with it, or the optician, or anybody like that. I had no faith in any of them. But what I did was I took it up to Belfast and to the Apple shop. Now, that's not where you buy apples, it's where you buy Apple iPads. And when I went in, they said to me, here's your genius. And they took me to this guy who was a real expert, who knew exactly what to do. And so I was very happy to give my iPad to him because I trusted him. I believed he knew what he was doing. I put my faith in him. Now, let me introduce you to the person in our Bible reading today. The first person, his name is Jairus. Well, you remember that name, Jairus. And Jairus is an important man because he's one of the Jewish rulers. And Jairus is in trouble. It's not that he's dropped his iPad, because of course they didn't have any iPads in those days. It's far worse. Jairus' little girl, who's just 12 years old, she would just have been first year in secondary school. Jairus' little girl is ill. She's very ill. And in those days there were no hospitals. There was no ambulance, and there was no 999 that you could phone. There weren't even any phones. Jairus really needed help. What was he going to do? Well, he didn't go to one of his neighbours. He didn't go to a farmer or to a teacher. He needed a doctor, but no, it was worse than that. He said, it's too late. A doctor couldn't even cure my little girl. She's dying. And he believed that there was only one person who could cure his little daughter. And that was Jesus. He really believed that Jesus could do it. He trusted Jesus. He had faith in Jesus. And he was right to do that. Because Jesus is the Son of God. He created the universe. He can do absolutely anything. Jesus can speak to a storm and it'll stop immediately. Jesus said that if he wanted to do it, he could move a mountain. So Jairus trusted Jesus and he dashed to Jesus. He didn't send one of his servants because he wanted to be sure it was done quickly and that the right message got to Jesus. And he got to Jesus. And there was a huge crowd around him. And Jairus came and he fell in front of Jesus. And he said, oh, Jesus, you've got to come quickly, Jesus. My little daughter is very ill. I think she might even die if you don't get there. And Jesus said, right, I'll go with you. And Jesus started moving along with Jairus, but there was this huge crowd around him. Have you ever been in a really big crowd? Maybe at a football match or something on the way in or the way out, or a concert. And you know how a crowd moves so slowly and everybody's bumping up against everybody else. And this crowd was moving so slowly. And Jairus would have been out in front saying, clear the way, let Jesus through. Jesus needs to get to my little girl. She's dying. Clear the way. And suddenly Jesus stopped. And he looked around and he said, who touched me? And the disciples said, but Jesus, we're a huge crowd. Everybody's bumping up against everybody else. But Jesus said, no, somebody touched me. Somebody who really needs help. And I have felt the power going out to them. Somebody touched me. Who was it that touched me? And there was a little woman stepped forward. And she said, Jesus, it was me. For she said, I have had a terrible problem for 12 years. It's been a bleeding problem. And I've been to all the doctors and spent money with the doctors, but nobody has been able to help me. But I believe, Jesus, that you could help me today. I believe that you had the power to do that you are able to cure me. And she was right to believe that Jesus could do that and to put her faith in Jesus. Because at that very moment, she was indeed touched and healed by Jesus. At that very moment that she touched him, the healing went from Jesus to her, and she was completely cured after having been ill for 12 years. Oh, she was so happy because she believed Jesus could help her. She put her faith in Jesus. That's what it means to put your faith in somebody, to believe and to trust them. And she was so happy that, oh, hang on, we've forgotten something. Poor Jairus, what about him? He's still there and he's still saying, clear the way, Jesus needs to get to my little girl. And he is pulling his hair out because he's so upset that his little girl is dying and other people are holding Jesus back. And then it gets worse because one of the servants came from Jairus' house and he said, Jairus, it's too late. Your little girl is dead. She has died. And Jesus immediately heard that and he said to Jairus, Jairus, you keep on believing. You keep trusting me. Jesus said to Jairus, you've put your faith in me. You believe that I can do this. You just keep trusting me and it'll be okay. So they got to the house where Jairus lived. There was a huge crowd around the house because they had heard that the little girl had died and they'd all gathered in to visit and to be there for the funeral. And Jesus was moving through the crowd of people who were crying. And he said, don't be crying. He says, I'm going to wake her up out of this sleep. And some of them laughed at him. And some of them probably were quite angry and said, but she's dead. And Jesus says, Peter, James, John, here, come with me. Jairus, get your wife. And so the little girl's mum and dad, Peter, James and John, went in, and Jesus went to where she was lying, and she was dead. She had died. And Jesus reached out his hand and took her hand, and he said, little girl, wake up. And at that moment she opened her eyes, and she got up onto her feet, and she said, Mommy, I'm hungry. And Jesus said, go and get her something to eat. Oh, what a happy day this was for Jairus and for this woman and for the little girl as well, of course. But Jairus and the woman, the one thing that they did was they believed that Jesus could sort out their problem. That they put their trust in Jesus. They put their faith in Jesus. They trusted him. Whenever I handed my iPad to the guy up in Belfast, I believed that he knew how to fix it. And that nobody else could, but that he could fix it for me. And so I gave it to him. I went to him and I put it in his hands. Young folk, listen. Jesus is the Son of God. He can do absolutely anything. You've got to believe that. You've got to trust him. You've got to put your faith in him. Just like Jairus and like this woman, you've got to go to Jesus and say, I know that Jesus can sort out all the things that I need sorted out. And most of all, he can deal with my sin. Oh, he's great. Make sure you trust him. And oh, how I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. Keep safe until we do.